everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Dakota, and on this channel we have fun with learning and creating art. Let's see what we're creating today. The supplies that I'm using for this painting are the Fabriano watercolor paper from the Fat Pad. I've got my size 8 Curry's 2500 series watercolor brush. I've got water, paper towel, and a scrap piece of paper here. I'm using Winsor Newton Cotman watercolors. I have Permanent Rose and Cadmium Yellow Hue mix. I've got Purple Lake, Cadmium Yellow Hue, Sap Green, Hooker's Green Dark and Burnt Umber, and Hooker's Green Dark. I also have a black watercolor pencil that I'm going to use to draw in some flowers and leaves throughout the paper, and that'll be my guide for the watercolor. And I'm going to start off with the center rose. It's very light, so I apologize you can't fully see it, but I didn't want to push too hard here. I'm also adding some 5-petal flowers, 3 in total around the rose. I will also add in some little flowers on branches, and then I'll go around and add in 3 different types of leaves to go with the flowers, and I'll just do this until the page is full and I'm happy with it. So now I'm going over the rose with the Purple Lake and just following my guideline. I'm not trying to get it perfect. I'm going to be going over the watercolor with the black watercolor pencil anyway, so it's okay if you see it through. And I'm just making the rose in the center the main focal point of the painting. I'm taking the Cadmium Yellow Hue and I'm just loosely adding in paint to the little flowers that are on the branches. Again, very loose. I'm not worrying about staying in the lines or filling the whole area. Again, I'm going to see the black pencil lines through it, and that is okay. It's what I'm trying to do for this painting. I'm just trying something new with it. Now that the yellow flowers are completed, I'm going in with the Permanent Rose and Cadmium Yellow Hue mix to paint in loosely again the 5-petal flowers. Now is the time to paint in the leaves. So I'm using the Hooker's Green Dark to paint in the leaves for the rose. I will use the Sap Green for the leaves for the 5 petal flowers, and I'm going to use the Hooker's Green Dark and Burnt Umber mixture for the yellow flowers. I forgot to mention that I'm using black here for the stamen of the 5 petal flowers. So I decided that the yellow flowers were a bit too pale for me, so I'm just going over with a darker or more pigmented of the Cadmium Yellow Hue to make them stand out more. So I wanted to add some layers here. So what I did is I just made a darker shade of the permanent rose and cadmium yellow hue mixture. And I'm just adding in a little bit on each of the 5 petal flowers. I'm not covering it completely because I do want to still see the first layer, the lighter layer. And now I'm going in with a darker amount of the cadmium yellow hue, and I'm doing the same thing for the yellow flowers. Just little bits, not the same on each, just to add a little bit more depth and detail to the flowers. I'll also do that with the rose using a more pigment of the Purple Lake for the center of the rose and a little bit going out. now that the main part of the painting is done, I'm going in and adding some filler leaves in. Using the same colors that I've used and just filling in the blank white spaces where I feel is too empty. I don't want to fill it with too much leaves, but I also don't like the look of too much white space. So I'm just going to continue adding leaves until I feel that it's nicely filled in. So now is the fun part where I'm using the black watercolor pencil, and again, extremely loose, not trying to be perfect. I'm going over everything, the flowers, the leaves, and just adding in some black line detail, squiggly lines all around, not worrying about staying with the painting. I'm going past it, going so that the paint's over the lines, really loose, not perfect, just adding it for detail and a fun look to it. So I'll do this until everything is outlined and has the black pencil marks on it.
Thanks again for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.